guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm excited to be here with you guys. As always, you know I like hanging out with you guys, catching up with you guys. Yes, it is the season of Christmas, and what better way to start off this video. You know, thank you so much for all who have joined in, those who are always watching my videos, subscribe, who are encouraging others to subscribe and join the family, and those who leave comments. Thank you so much for your support. It means so much to me. Anyway, it's that period of Christmas, and I just thought, what better way to reflect back on my childhood Christmas, how I remember it in comparison to Christmas in Denmark. Since Denmark is now my second home, and now most of my Christmases have been here. Just wanted to, let's have a chat around Christmas. So, in Uganda, Christmas is celebrated on the 25th of December, while in Denmark, Christmas is celebrated on the eve. It's on the 24th. That is when people celebrate Christmas here, on the eve of Christmas in Denmark. That's the day also people go to church on the eve of Christmas. So basically in Denmark, everything happens on the 24th and not like on the 25th, like in Uganda. And then the other thing, let's talk about Christmas when I was growing up, guys. When I was growing up, Christmas was really a big deal. I would say Christmas was such a big deal in Uganda in comparison to what I see it here in Denmark. I don't mean that Christmas is not a big deal. It is still a big deal in Uganda. I mean in Denmark, but in comparison to Uganda, you have to remember in Denmark and in most Western countries, people are not very religious. Of course, there are very many Christians, but they are not very staunch religious people like we experience it in most African countries or in Uganda. And as such, in Uganda, people make it, Christmas is like such a big deal. Somebody will save for Christmas from the beginning of the year, you know. And one of the differences is that while I was growing up, I remember having a new pair of clothes, a new dress, a new shoe. That was such a big deal. We were looking forward to Christmas knowing that when the time came, we'd have new clothes, new shoes. Now, I live in Denmark. The one thing I've seen is such a big deal during Christmas is gifting. Everybody expects to receive a gift, and that is something that I'm trying to get used to. I'm the kind of person, it's nice to have a gift, but it's not a big deal. Even if I don't receive a gift during Christmas, for me, it's not such a big deal. But I learned the hard way. I remember there was a Christmas, one of my family members was just met. I didn't buy, and I could see the person was not happy. So since then, I have learned to buy gifts for all my family and friends. But while growing up in Uganda, yes, Christmas was not so much about gifting the way it is in Denmark. But again, on the other hand, with the Western influence, with globalization, I see these days when people decorate their Christmas trees, they have all these boxes of gifts and all that. Truly, for me, while I was growing up, and one of my best memories of Christmas is in Fort Potro. But I also think it's because I spent so many years, most of my childhood was in Fort Potro until just before my father died. You know, after my father died, things were different. But until then, most of my childhood memories are of Fort Potro. And I remember we would go and get the tree, go and cut the Christmas tree, bring it home and decorate it. So guys, we would decorate our Christmas tree with cotton wool. And now that I am grown up and also living here, now when I look back, I think we put cotton wool to try and mimic what the Western world does, or in Europe or in America and all these other countries, because most of these people have this very intense weather. They have winters. So most times these trees that are outside during the winter can be covered in snow. Actually, it's very beautiful when the snow had just, when it has just snowed on the trees. It looks so beautiful. So I think us putting the cotton wool was a way to mimic snow on the trees. Of course, we were so influenced by the Western pop cultures, you know. And then the other thing I remember, we could also put toilet paper for decorating. Can you believe toilet paper we used to put on the Christmas trees? Now that when I think back, I laugh about it. Like toilet paper from the toilet to the Christmas tree, in the sitting room, in the dining. Guys, what were we thinking? Then the other way we used to decorate was put sweets. Yes. So my mother would put some sweets on the trees, and these sweets were expected to survive until Christmas Day. Remember, the Christmas tree is put a couple of weeks before Christmas, you know. But being children, sometimes you can't wait, because they would say, no, you're not allowed to take the sweets there for decoration. You can only have them during Christmas time. My God, sometimes we were very, very sneaky. I hope my children don't hear this. We would go and unwrap the sweets and put a stone. Unwrap sweets, eat the sweets and put a stone. And then when Christmas comes up, that's when they discover there are no sweets. And there was nothing to do. It is Christmas. You can't start getting annoyed and spoiling the day. We kind of knew that nobody's getting mad at us during the Christmas period. And yeah, that was with the decoration of the Christmas tree. And then I remember we also had these glittery things that they would hang in the roof all over the house, you know. But nowadays, things have changed. You can see my Christmas tree. It has the lights, but also most of the decorations and all the things are things that I bought from the shop. Yeah, but of course I could have made some of the decorations myself, but these days things are really, really very easy, that you just walk into the shop and buy the things and come home and have it fixed. And also my tree, I've used it for 3 years now. It is an artificial tree. Yeah, I'm using an artificial tree. I know some people are against all these plastic things and all that, but on the other hand, I feel like, yeah, now this is the 3rd year I'm using it. I get to save money. Every time when it's Christmas, I don't have to run and buy the things here and there. Yeah, and then the other thing I remember about Christmas. Guys, by the way, remember to write down all your childhood memories of Christmas, what you remember, what Christmas was like and all that. I would really, really love to hear that. So please remember to leave it in the comment section. I will appreciate it so much. So apart from decorating the Christmas tree, apart from looking forward to having new clothes as children, but actually also adults should save the whole year. I remember people who would do garden work for a full year so they can be able to afford clothes. But not only clothes, yeah, actually before I jump a little ahead of myself, but it was also a moment of show off when you had these clothes, you know, because during Christmas we all went to church. So going to church, it was a way that I have arrived, my new shoes, my new clothes. As children, it's also, we were excited to show off these new things that we got amongst each other. Yeah, I remember, and I kind of remember after my father died in 1994, that Christmas I had no new clothes. The following Christmas I had no clothes, and all. It was really, really, really depressing. It was depressing as a child, you know, at that moment. But life does happen. Although in Denmark, Christmas is not so much about buying new clothes, as I already said. It's more about gifting. So in the beginning, when I had just moved to Denmark, I was following that tradition back home where I would run and buy new clothes for the kids, the boys, the suits and all those things. But somehow I have stopped. I have stopped. Why? The kids already have so many nice clothes. So why waste money buying more clothes just for Christmas? But again, this is also a thing, the difference between here and Uganda sometimes. I'm not saying all. There are people who can't afford buying clothes every now and then, so they save it for the special occasion. In Denmark, it's not a big deal. People don't fancy all these new clothes to wear on Christmas. No. And then in Denmark, Christmas, just like in Uganda, Christmas is such a big deal. It's about food. But in Denmark, they have special kinds of food for different seasons, you know. So for Christmas in Denmark, most families will prepare what they call flæskesteg. That's a big chunk of pork meat put in the oven. And then they will prepare duck also in the oven. And then they have the red cabbage, they have the sauce, and then they have Irish potatoes that is boiled, but then they also have a very special way of preparing a certain Irish potatoes where you put it in butter and sugar. So it's caramelized. Yes, it is sweet, and with that buttery taste and all that, it tastes so good. And then they also, yes, so in Denmark, they have certain kind of special foods they eat on that day. It's not just any food here and there. And also they have a way, like, if they have so many, you have many guests, maybe you'll start with a fish dish, and then later you go to this and that and that. Whereas for me, how I remember Christmas in Uganda, yes, it is about food and family. So we make food in a way that you make a lot of food. On Christmas, it is open. Anybody is welcome to your home on that day. You know, so you prepare some excess food, and sometimes you carry food over to the neighbors or to the other people, you know. But food is based on what you can afford. Meat, fish, chicken, this and that. We don't have any specific food that you have to say, yes, this is the only thing you eat. Of course, everybody strives to have at least meat, chicken, fish, you know. So it's very, very exciting. And yeah, it's the food, and then also the partying when you're done with the church and all these things and all that thing. Later, when everybody has eaten and all that, there's lots of music going on and lots of dancing and lots of catching up. Because remember, in Uganda, Christmas, most people travel up country. Most people travel to their villages to be with their loved ones. In Denmark, that doesn't happen. People don't have so much up country and all that and that. No, people stay wherever they are. And yes, so yeah, I actually miss most times actually I miss the Ugandan Christmas. We have been there a couple of times with my kids. I wish my children were here to kind of come and explain more about the Christmas. And then Santa Claus. Over here, Santa Claus is such a big deal. Santa Claus is bringing gifts. Santa Claus is doing this and that. And actually, I bought a costume where one of us has to pretend to be Santa Claus for the much younger kids. Growing up, Santa Claus, yeah, it was there. You could see it in movies, on the TV, and things like that. But yeah, it wasn't such a big deal. I actually remember there was a neighbor's friend where the uncle would act up like Santa Claus. But sometimes the kids knew who he was. So they would go and call his name and say, I know who you are, so you better give me a better gift. If you don't give me a better gift, then, you know, I will tell the other kids that you are not Santa Claus, you're just fake. You know, Santa Claus is not real, and things like that. So personally, me, when I grew up, I don't remember so much about Santa Claus. As I said, in Uganda, it's very few families. I said my neighbors, they used to have Santa Claus, something around that theme. But most places, no. As long as you had your family together, having the party and things like that. So guys, that was a little bit of Christmas in Denmark, Uganda, and all that. But it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. I am just glad and happy that my children get to experience both worlds. They get to experience Christmas in Europe. They get to experience Christmas in Uganda. And these are two different celebrations. And before I go, did I mention Christmas is also about drinking soda, drinking juice? How could I forget that? You know, that was also another highlight of Christmas. And then it's also on days like that, sometimes the family would all go together to the cinema hall and watch a movie together. If you didn't have a TV and all that, you'd go out and watch a movie. And yeah, because on other days, you aren't allowed to go to the cinema hall every now and then. So those are some of the things that made Christmas very special. Spending time with family, decorating, eating food and all that. Thank you guys so much for watching. It was so nice catching up with you. Remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, invite your friends, and have a lovely Christmas and a happy New Year.